Hello everyone, guess what? This is my 100th video! Who cares? What does that matter? My 100th video, does that make it any more special than my 99th video or my 101st video? You know, why do we have all of this? We celebrate the 100th video, the 1000th video, the top 10, the, whatever. 25th anniversary, 100th anniversary, bicentennial, tricentennial. What does it all mean? Well, it means we have a base 10 numbering system. That's all it means, and it's based on the fact that we have 10 fingers. That's really all it means, and I guess it's nice to have these little milestones to go by, but the problem is a lot of people start making a lot more out of this than there is. It's completely arbitrary, and yet look at how many end-of-the-world scenarios there were around the year 2000. And it didn't help that we had that Y2K bug, which was really, it was a minor annoyance at best, and those of us in the know kept telling people that. It's like, look, most of you aren't going to notice a thing. If you're an IT guy, you might notice some glitches, especially if you've got older systems that only store 2-digit years. But, people started, stocking up on everything and predicting all this Armageddon stuff, and that guy turned himself blue, and it's just crazy stuff. Just crazy. And it's all because we have a base 10 numbering system, and 2000 kind of looks special, but really, there's nothing special. Look at this. This is the number 100. It looks special to us because it's even, and we got a 1 followed by 2 zeros, and that's kind of rounding. It's like the odometer clicking, but, what does it really look like? Here's 100 in binary. 1100, 100. That's just some ones and zeros. Okay, there's kind of a little pattern there with the 2 double zeros, but it becomes less special. If you look at it in base 8, or octal, it's 144. I know you're not supposed to say 144 when you're not in base 10, it's 144. Forget that, okay? It's just more natural to say 144. Everyone knows this is base 8. 144 in base 8 is 100 in base 10. Nothing really special about that. In base 16, or hexadecimal, it's 64, or 64. 64, 144, 100, strings of ones and zeros. What does it all mean? It just means that this is another video, and there's nothing special to it, and there's nothing special about the 2000 being end of the world, because obviously it wasn't. And funny thing is, when these end of the world dates come and go, the people don't come and go. We got to January 1st, 2000, nothing happened. I think there was one service station somewhere that was shut down for like half an hour, and maybe there was a minor glitch somewhere. It was just, it was a big goose egg, like those of us who actually understand this stuff were saying. But that didn't stop them. They said, no, it's going to be the leap year. Oh, it's going to be the leap year. Nope, leap year didn't do anything. And then they had something happening around September. It was just like the Nostradamus people of the previous year. Nostradamus predicted that the world would end in the 7th month of 1999. When it didn't, they said, oh, well, that's because the calendar was different and it's really November. Oh, no, it's really... They just kept revising it. So, have these people really gone away, or are these the same people as the 2012 crap? Because that's the same kind of thing. It's just not in our numbering system. It's in the Mayan numbering system. That's not the end of the world to the Mayans. That's just... a century clicking over or something. They had these, well, it's just like us. You got the small cycles, you got the medium size, so you got the big cycles, and this is their biggest cycle that clicks over in 2012. But that's all it is. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't signal the end of the world. It's not when their alien overlords are going to come back down to check up on how they're doing. It's not when Planet X is going to come by. Nothing like that. Come on. Use your heads. Well, I think a lot of us understand that in what we normally call woo, we can avoid it, but the problem is this stuff is everywhere. For example, if you get into stock trading, you'll run into all sorts of crap like this. And people are going to say, yes, I predicted all this great stuff for the last 2 years. Okay, what'd you do before that? There was this one guy who was really popular in the late 80s, I think, and he's still selling books today, even though he hasn't been right at all since, and he was right in the late 80s. And there was another guy who was more recently right up to 2002, and he's been wrong since then. And people are still going by because they just kind of ignore the times when they're wrong and look at the times when they're right. But a lot of this stuff with the stock market and investment markets is based around these guys. These are Fibonacci numbers. And the way Fibonacci numbers work is you add two numbers, and that gives you the next number. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on. So, for example, in the 70s, all these guys were saying, hey, look at what the price of gold is doing. Oh, let's get in on this. Let's figure out what's going on. Hey, look, there was a 3-month period between gold spikes. And after that, there was a 5-month period between gold spikes. 3 and 5 are both Fibonacci numbers, so I bet you it'll be 8 months before the next gold spike. And whatever, and of course it doesn't work. These things are really meaningless. They are kind of cool in a way, just because the difference between this is 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 4 and so on. And they're basically the squares. The difference between each number is the squares. But that doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't have anything to do with the stock market. It doesn't apply to anything like that. So you run into this stuff everywhere. So, let that be a lesson. No one can predict the stock market. Don't go in with anyone that can. Just have a good balanced portfolio and make sure that you've got enough hedges in your bets. Not hedge funds. I'm talking about just hedging your bets between stocks, bonds, gold, money markets, all sorts of different things, just to try to ride out whenever one goes down, another goes up, and so forth. But trying to go in with these systems, it's really like gambling in Vegas. They've all got their systems. These numbers are hot because they haven't come up in a while. These other numbers are hot because they have, and it's completely contradictory. So that's what it's all about. So that's what you should get for my 100th video, and that is that numbers are pretty much meaningless unless they specifically apply to something. If you've got 100 of something, then it's exactly as meaningful to put it in base 16. And hexadecimal say you've got 64 of them, 64 of them. So 100 is the same number, as long as you're not attaching any meaning to the arrangement of the number itself. That's the big thing. Make sure it applies to what you're going through. And really, as I say on so many of my videos that I shamelessly stole from CDK007, just think about it.